I went to school with this person with this name Sandy when I went to primary school, which has the Norwegian word barneskole. Sandy treated me better than those other people. Therefore, I appreciated her presence more than the presence of these other people. And in relation to getting to know her, I understood that there was a connection between appearance and the behavior of other people. However, I only considered her in a friend's perspective. Because I am straight. In addition, the sexuality of straight people does not begin to exist before a certain higher age than for stupid and insensitive people. Because people are not that fucking pleasant to be around when you are smart and sensitive. But because other people are gay, they might have misinterpreted the fact that I appreciated her presence more than the presence of other people. But I think that since other people saw that I appreciated her presence, they wanted to exploit that situation. So I do not exactly remember at which grade this was, but at some point they removed her from my class and from our school. It might have been 3rd grade or something like that. And I have kind of been thinking of this ever since, because I understood that there was a reason for this, and I understood that this was part of something bigger. And since I have been working with world peace from the fucking age of 2, I remember this for that reason. I observed the situation and I understood that this was of higher relevance. So my thoughts about why they removed her from my class in approximately 3rd grade is as following. They want my life to really suck, so if they understand that I appreciate being around something, they remove it. Also, they surveillance me, so when I appreciate someone in my presence, that makes them more popular, and therefore I think they removed her from my class in order to make her into a celebrity. Probably presented next to a lot of gay thoughts, which was supposed to be inside of my head, because the gay industry is a big part of this, and even though there was no gay thoughts inside of my head, it is a lot of gay thoughts inside of their heads, so that is all they managed to think about, or something like that. Which in a translated version means that they made this other child popular because they as adults think this child is pretty. And even though I observed from her appearance and behavior that she was more sensitive than these other people, she was probably still insensitive enough to follow the criminal system and to not leave the criminal system at any fucking point. And her name was Sandy. And that is very similar to my biological last name, Strand. I remember the appearance of this girl, not because I am a lesbian, but because I care about people, and for that reason I remember them. For the first thing, I'm saying that I'm not a lesbian. For the second thing, I am referring to that point in time when we both were at that same age. And I think it was yesterday I come to realize that this girl I went to school with this name Sandy looks like the Norwegian celebrity Josefine Frida. This picture, which I have selected of Josefine Frida, is one of the pictures where she looks the most like my previous classmate, Sandy. In addition, I realized today that this Sandy might look a little bit like Pamela Anderson in some of these pictures, which I'm going to show you now. My previous classmate Sandy might not just look like Pamela Anderson in some of these pictures. She does look like Pamela Anderson in some of these pictures. Josefine Frida Pettersen and Pamela Anderson seem to have the same height. Therefore, it is probably not just an observation that they look like my previous classmate Sandy. They are probably in biological family because that is how the power system functions. Their height is 170 centimeters, which is a twin height above the height of my biological mother, Elizabeth. And for world peace reasons, I have lately been thinking about this name Sandy. They can hear my thoughts because I whisper them. And without saying anything out loud, they repeat my words and assume that this is connected with my sexuality. Then they use this in order to harass me as much as fucking possible by making me into their own fucking sexuality. So are you saying that you are thinking back on that point in time where we went to that same school and that same class and you are sexualizing this? I have also realized that another person which I went to primary school together with, which has this Norwegian word barneskole, looks like Celista Flockhart. We went to the same school and the same class in primary school, which has the Norwegian word for barneskole. We went to the same school but not the same class in secondary school, which has the Norwegian word for ungdomsskole. This person which I went to primary school together with and which looks like Celista Flockhart, she had the last name Bryn, and that last name I have been talking about earlier. I am not going to mention her front name because I think that is too much information, but she got married at an early age and therefore she probably changed her last name for that reason. Celista Flockhart took part in the television series Ally McBeal. Sometimes different heights are given on the internet, but it seems to be the case that she is 166 centimeters, which is a twin height below the height of my biological mother. That is the height of Celista Flockhart and not the height of my previous classmate, because I do not know what her height is. And I have picked out a picture of Celista Flockhart where she looks the most like my previous classmate with this previous last name Bryn. Or actually, I do not know if that is her previous last name because sometimes they keep their child last name and sometimes they get divorced and then they take back that old name. So here is some information about Celista Flockhart and a picture where she looks the most like my previous classmate. And Celista Flockhart kind of looks a little bit like Linda Katrine Hofstad Helleland, which is assumed to be my biological aunt on my mother's side. And this I am a bit more unsure about, but maybe my previous classmate with this last name, Breen, looks a bit like Cameron Diaz. Celista Flockhart kind of looks like Cameron Diaz, so the observation that my previous classmate with this name, Breen, looks like Cameron Diaz is probably correct. Also, I found a picture of Cameron Diaz where she looks like the Norwegian celebrity Sandra Lyng. And according to the internet, it seems like they have the same height. Therefore, the fact that they look like each other is probably not just an observation. They are probably in biological family. Because even though different heights are given on the internet, when you can connect them by appearance, probably the height which connect them together is the correct height. There is also something similar between the face of Cameron Diaz and Heidi Klum, which is assumed to be my biological aunt. So even though Cameron Diaz is assumed to be 175 centimeters because that is the same height as for Sandra Lyng, the height of 174 centimeters is also given for Cameron Diaz, and that is a twin height below Heidi Klum. Or I also found the height of 175 centimeters for Heidi Klum, and based on her appearance, she can be connected with Cameron Diaz and Gwyneth Paltrow. And since the height of 175 centimeters is found for all of them, in addition to Sandra Lyng, that seems to be the correct height. Based on the date of birth of Cameron Diaz and Gwyneth Paltrow, they can be actual twins. There is 1 month in between the birth of Cameron Diaz and Gwyneth Paltrow. But there is no problem to hide a child from the official world for 1 month, when they have been hiding me from the official world for 35 years. But for Gwyneth Paltrow and Cameron Diaz to be twins, there need to be a twin height in between them. I also found the height of 177 centimeters for Gwyneth Paltrow, while I found the height of 173 centimeters for Cameron Diaz. two places it says that Cameron Diaz is 5 feet 8 inches. One place it says that 5 feet 8 inches is 173 centimeters. Another place it says that 5 feet 8 inches is 174 centimeters. The height of 174 centimeters is the height which is given for Cameron Diaz on the main information page. But 5 feet 8 inches is actually 173 centimeters. Therefore, I think that this is the real height of Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz has this name Michelle. So maybe she was the inspiration to use this name for the character in the Full House. The popularity of Gwyneth Paltrow seemed to exceed everything. Therefore, it is likely that she is the twin of Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz is also extremely popular. Cameron Diaz has the name Michelle, which is the same name as for the character of Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, which is twins. Therefore, this is another reason why Cameron Diaz should be a twin. And if the character of Mary-Kate and Ashley is named after Cameron Michelle Diaz, it is weird if Cameron Diaz is further out in the family tree than being our biological aunt. However, Gwyneth Paltrow has this name Kate, and that is the same name as for our biological mother, Kate Elizabeth. And since Cameron Michelle Diaz probably is the twin of Gwyneth Paltrow, that means that Gwyneth Paltrow has the same name Kate as her sister Kate Elizabeth, which is my biological mother. However, they are biological sisters and not official sisters, and therefore they might not be restricted by using that same name. And maybe that makes Gwyneth Paltrow even more popular, since you can connect her closer to our biological mother because of her name. Because, as I said, it is weird to place Cameron Michelle Diaz further out in the biological family tree than being our aunt, if this is the reason for the name of the character to Mary-Kate and Ashley. Therefore, this means that Heidi Klum, Cameron Diaz, and Gwyneth Paltrow is probably our biological aunts. So that they have one biological parent in common with our biological mother Elizabeth, and that is our biological grandmother Mary Elizabeth. Because according to the age of my siblings, which I share the same biological mother together with, they should be one generation above. Their appearance connects them to the biological family Olsen, while their height connects them to the biological family Skanke, or their appearance do not connect them so much to the biological family Olsen. Therefore, this might be more of a Skanke look than a Olsen look, but that is not a typical Skanke look. However, they look enough like the biological family Olsen to connect them to that side of the family. The height of 175 centimeters is a twin height above the brother to my biological grandmother on my father's side. Therefore, I think that my biological grandmother on my father's side has another brother which is 175 centimeters, and which is the twin of her brother which is 173 centimeters. I think that the brother of my biological grandmother, which is 175 centimeters, is the biological father of Cameron Diaz, Heidi Klum, and Gwyneth Paltrow. So that Cameron Diaz, Heidi Klum, and Gwyneth Paltrow becomes the biological cousins of my biological father. Continuing talking about my previous classmate with his last name Bryn. When I met her after I had started up my internet account in 2017, she was walking with this wagon for children, and I do not think that there was any children in that wagon, and she was kind of walking with her head in between her legs. And it seems like she had realized that she had done something stupid. Also, I was informed about the fact that she is a lesbian, even though she married a man, and I think that I was informed about this through the internet. And when they informed me that they are lesbians, instead of informing other people that I am a lesbian when I am not, that seemed to be more for the sake of the information, which means that this is probably to inform me that they were saying behind my back that I am a lesbian. So they were probably saying behind my back that I am a lesbian, and again the gay industry is involved, and they did not exactly stop with using this word lesbian in order to harass me after this. So the moral of the story, or the logic of this story, is that because other people are lesbians and they think that I am pretty, they say that I am a lesbian, and that is really stupid. So what you're saying is that you are a lesbian because you think that you are pretty. But then again, what do I know, because I do not think that I am pretty. However, that is not the reason why I am straight. I went to secondary school with this Norwegian word ungdomsskole with a person with the name Marte, and she looks like a person with the name Caroline on TikTok. I went to the same secondary school as Marte, not the same class. But we went to the same secondary school that same year. And in this specific picture of Caroline, which I am about to show you, she really looks like Marte, which I went to secondary school together with. Caroline has a bit of a higher weight in this picture, Therefore, she looks more like this Marte, which I went to secondary school together with. Marte, which I went to secondary school together with, had cancer, and therefore this mentions the pharmaceutical industry. Yeah, and you know what I have said about cancer. It does not exist. And lately, the brother of Alexander, which I went to high school together with this Norwegian word videregående, he has appeared on my For You page on TikTok. He is the big brother of Alexander, and his name is Sølve. He was an instructor when I was exercising at the exercise center Alexia before I moved to Oslo. I went that same year and that same study as Alexander, but not that same class. This is Sølve. And when I went to college, this person with this name, Gilles, looks more like Obama than his actual father. And to be precise, I am talking about Barack Obama, which is the earlier president of the United States of America. So maybe Obama has a lot of children, therefore he got a lot of power, and therefore he became the president. My previous classmate with this name, Gilles, looks very much like Obama, and not just a little. I went almost the same study as Gilles that same year. Here is some information about Obama. So the purpose with making this video is to connect the town where I grew up to the bigger world. I grew up in Porsgrunn. Also, this video is connecting Norway to the bigger world. And this video shows that Norway has a lot of power in comparison to other countries. There is not without a reason that one of the most abused people on this planet lives in Norway. And the other most abused people on this planet is in my biological family, which is also connected to Norway.